everyone. Finally, we are back after a long time, and here I am. Today, we have no old channel, but today, as the owner of this channel, I will dive deep into the discussion and about the predictions and how each team will perform and which team will go through into the next round. And obviously, I'll take a closer look at my team. So, let's get started. Here in front of me I have the round of 16 UCL draw, so where you can see that Arsenal will face PSV, we have the Madrid derby, we also have another interesting game, that's PSG versus Liverpool and Aston Villa versus Club Brugge, and another 4 fixtures as Benfica versus Barca, Dortmund versus Lille, and we have the Bayern Munich and the Bayern Leverkusen. And the last but not the least, we have the Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. So we have a pretty decent draw. And by the time I'll be making this video at this time, already 4 match days are over. That means that PSG versus Arsenal game, and we have the Madrid derby, and the Club Brugge versus Aston Villa, and Dortmund versus Lille. These 4 match days are already over, and tonight we will have another 4 match days. So, talking about the results of the PSV and Arsenal, we saw that Arsenal already made their way into the quarterfinals as they beat PSV 7-1. That's a pretty astonishing scoreline, as I thought that PSV would do a bit better, but it's okay. Another game that was a hell of a game. That's Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. That game we had everything. We had Alvarez scoring a great color. We had Rodrigo scoring a beauty. We had Brahim scoring the winner of the game. And another thing, that's Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. We see that the signings that the Aston Villa club made during the winter transfer market, it's working for them. That's Marcus Rashford. And another interesting name, that's Marco Asensio. He's a great footballer, as we have seen in the times of his Real Madrid and obviously some of his period in PSG. And so that's another that was a pretty boring game. That was Dortmund versus Lille. It was a 1-1 scoreline. So we'll see what happens. Talking about these 4 match days, who can go to the round, the quarterfinals, is that, as you can see that Arsenal has already made their place into the quarterfinals, as we don't need to worry about them, as 7-1 they have a 7-1 aggregate, so it's pretty impossible for PSV to come back from there, as the next match that will be played in the Emirates Stadium, that is the home of the Arsenal Stadium, and so that's over for PSV. And the next one, that's the Madrid derby. We saw that Real Madrid winning convincingly 2-1, but ATM also played great. They had a great match, and ATM is facing to a tough situation right now, as they face Barcelona in the span of 1 week. They'll face Barcelona 2 times, Real Madrid 2 times, and that's a tough schedule for Atletico Madrid. But Diego Simeone is doing pretty great. He has a decent squad, and Alvarez is balling out there. So the next leg will be played at the Metropolitano, which is the home of the Atletico Madrid Stadium. So we'll wait for that day when Real Madrid will travel to Atletico Madrid to play the final leg, and they'll have an important 1-goal lead. The another match, that was the Aston Villa versus Club Brugge. That 3-1. Asensio scored a late penalty to give them a 3-1 lead. So I'll say that I have not watched this match, as because it was pretty ahead of time. It was played I think at 11:15 p.m. But it's okay. But tonight we have more interesting matches. That's Liverpool versus PSG, Barcelona versus Benfica, and Bayern Munich versus Bayern Leverkusen. Another one, that is Inter Milan versus Feyenoord. That match, I think Inter can go through easily, but I'm not so sure. But it's my prediction that from that top 4 match days that are over, I'll say that Arsenal will go. Arsenal will go through, and I think Real Madrid will go through, and it's pretty decent that Aston Villa can go through as well. And talking about Dortmund versus Lille, I think Dortmund can make it. So these are my 4 predictions for the quarterfinals. And the other 4 predictions that I'll make is that versus Liverpool or PSG today, Liverpool will face a tough challenge as PSG they are gonna travel to France to take over PSG at their home, while PSG are performing very good, very good. We have the Luis Enrique as their manager, who is performing at its best. We have Dembele, we have Kvaratskhelia, we have Bradley Barcola. These all are they all are baller out there, and they might give a tough competition to Liverpool. But I think Liverpool can make through as they have one of their Ballon d'Or contenders right now. That is Mohamed Salah. No one else close to him. And the other match that I'm gonna say is that the Bayern Munich versus Bayern Leverkusen. That is Jamal Musiala versus Florian Wirtz. So that's also a pretty hell of a game. We'll see. But the only thing that I that was a problem is that all the games will be played at the same time. So it will be a bit difficult for me to keep a look at all the 3 games at the same time. But I'll try. And the next game, that is Bayern Munich versus Bayern Leverkusen, that game will be a great game as we have already seen in the Bundesliga and other pros they have faced as many times as they are in the league. So that will be an interesting to watch. But my pick would be Bayern Munich. Obviously, they'll go through. For me, Vincent Kompany and his team are way ahead of their Xabi Alonso team because it's my prediction. But I'm not so sure about it. And the next game, that is my team's game, Barcelona versus Benfica. We all know the last time when Barcelona went to Benfica, they played, I think, one of the best games in UCL so far, 5-4, pulling a late comeback, Rafinha scoring the late winner, Eric Garcia scoring a header as well. So, uh, anything can happen. So, let's see what happens. But my pick from this match would be Barcelona. And the next game, that is a bit, not so important game compared to others, is that Inter Milan versus Feyenoord. So I think Inter Milan Simeone's team was doing pretty well, so I think Inter can make through. So this was an overall prediction for me for this UCL draw that will go into the top 8. So let's see what happens. We can see that here is the road to Munich. That format is here. So we'll see that the winner of the PSG and Arsenal will face the winner of the Madrid derby, that is Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, and those two will play a semi-final to reach the final. So from here, my prediction would be, as all of you know, that the most successful team in the history of the UEFA Champions League is Real Madrid. So I think that Real Madrid will go to the final of the UEFA Champions League. And from here we have the Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool. We also have the Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. So the winner of the Club Brugge and Aston Villa is Aston Villa for me, and Liverpool will go through PSG, I think, and those two will play another quarter-final and to face Real Madrid in the semi-finals. So from this side we have the Benfica, Barcelona, Dortmund and Lille. So comparatively Barcelona has got a pretty decent tie. That's not so difficult. I'll not underestimate other teams, but Barcelona has comparatively got easier tie than the other teams. So I'll probably predict that Barcelona can reach the semi-finals without any extra pressure or anything if they play properly without, as all of you know, that Barcelona has a record of bottling since 2016-2017. So old OG Barcelona fans will know that. And from here we have Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen, Feyenoord and Inter. From here I think that Bayern will qualify and will face Barcelona in the semi-final. So that will be a hell of a tie. And so let's see. My predictions for this UEFA Champions League is that Barcelona and Real Madrid will face in the finale of this UEFA Champions League 2024-25. So with this we wrap up this prediction of the UEFA Champions League season. And so that wraps up for the 2024-25 UEFA Champions League prediction. So we had a same prediction. I don't know how far my predictions will go, but as far as I have the ball knowledge, I think these teams can make good unless there is a miracle or a great turnover around. So I think this is going to be an exciting season. We will have many great moments, many epic comebacks, and many others. So keep loving this beautiful game, and we'll meet into the next episode of the Offside show. So if you really like this video, do make sure to subscribe the channel and do follow for more such content. Let's go and